Hey everyone, welcome to the Literary Lounge. I'm Paige.
And I'm Emily.
And today we are going to be talking about the well-loved Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Today's drink of the day is called the Spicy Dragon. Emily, do you want to go over that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm drinking the Spicy Dragon, or what I've been calling in my head, the Tarn. And you're drinking the Littlest Dragon, which is the mocktail version.
Oh, cute.
The Andarna. So the base is like a spicy marg. Yours doesn't have tequila or like the passion fruit liqueur in it. But so mine has like those two things, and then they both have like lime juice, a little bit of like the Power C Trader Joe's juice, just to kind of give it like a mango, like orange kind of citrusy flavor. Mm-hmm. And then I topped them. I mean, you have more of the sparkling lime. I think it's like some kind of lime sparkling soda. You have more of it than I do. I just threw a little bit in mine, but yeah. A little spicy rim and some jalapenos, and you got yourself a spicy marg.
Yeah, it's really good. I have to say I was really mad at Emily when she came in and started making it because passion fruit is like one of my favorite fruits, and she had that passion fruit liqueur. Thank God I had passion fruit, like frozen passion fruit, because I added that to mine. But I saw the passion fruit bottle. I was like, passion fruit. And then I saw it was liqueur. I'm like, Emily. And I smacked your arm.
I know. I forgot that that's like your thing. Like you just die at anything passion fruit. And I literally got the cutest bottle of passion fruit liqueur from the Trader Joe's liquor store. And I'm like a sucker for good branding. I picked it out just because I like the bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good.
I had the passion fruit myself, so
you're getting a little bit of it.
Yeah, I got a little taste of it.
Yeah, so I'll put the recipe up today. It'll be up when this airs. So if you're looking for the recipe, I'll do both. I'll do the mocktail version and the cocktail.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, it's really good. I like it. Today's question of the week is, are you team pumpkin or team apple?
Oh, fall. It is fall. I like the taste of apple stuff better.
Okay.
But if I can, I don't know, be a little lenient about it, I prefer pumpkin scented stuff.
Okay.
So if it's food, like apple pie or pumpkin pie, I want apple, or love apple crisp this time of year. Mm-hmm. But if it's a candle or a decoration or something, I just like pumpkins.
Okay. That's kind of the opposite of me. I actually, I agree with you on the apple pie and the apple crisp and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll gravitate towards that more than pumpkin. But I am a diehard pumpkin spice latte person. So mm-hmm. I love anything pumpkin that you can drink pretty much.
Yeah.
But for scented stuff, I'm totally apple over pumpkin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. So do you like caramel apple stuff?
I love caramel.
Just the spiced apple kind of smell.
Spiced apple.
Mm-hmm.
I love carameled apples though, actual carameled apples, but mm-hmm. No, spiced apples. So I'd probably say overall I'm team pumpkin. Mm-hmm. But yeah, scent wise, typically apple.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong with either at the end of the day.
No, it's fall.
I mean, it's such a vibe.
They're fall scents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about this book.
I know, me too. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'll kick us off with the start of Fourth Wing. So to set the scene, it's basically a war. It's not like a war college. It is a war college. So everybody in this, I don't know, fantasy world community, when a lot of them, when they turn 20 and they go off to college, there's kind of 4 different things that they can do, or different routes that they can take in their careers. And so our main character, Violet, always grew up thinking she was going to be a scribe, which they're the people that write history and they record things that go down, and they're more of bookish. And that's very much how she is. She's very kind of smart and kind of keeps to herself, that sort of thing. And so she gets thrown into the riders quadrant instead, like 6 months before she starts college. Like her mom, she's like the lieutenant, or she's really high up, like in this government, this ruling body, that she tells her daughter, like, you're going to be a rider. And her father had passed away like maybe a few years prior, who was also a scribe, and he was like the one that taught her everything that he knew and got her hooked on that sort of thing. And so her mom just does like a complete 180 on her. Is like, nope, you're going to be a dragon rider. So she goes into this like very much afraid for her life, like wasn't prepared for it really at all. And so luckily, like when she's about to enter into this college and start like the life-threatening challenges and all the things that she's going to face ahead of her, her older sister like kind of helps her out and like gives her this like dragon scale vest that protects her throughout the book, and just kind of like gives her advice and other things. And so she goes into it like semi-prepared, I guess, thanks to her sister, but for the most part, like she's going in blind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it starts out with conscription day. And this is kind of like the test to get like into the college. So like they had to like go across this. I pictured it as like a balance beam, but like it was like
it's a parapet.
I don't know what that is.
So like, you know, when you're on like the rooftop of a building and like the exterior wall comes up like a couple feet higher than the roof.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that's a parapet. So
like when they were walking on this, like one side was like the roof and one side was like,
well, no, I don't think it was like that, but it was just like a ledge basically.
Okay, so like a balance beam, like bridge type thing.
Yeah,
like,
I guess I pictured it as like brick or stone. Like she was talking about how like the rocks were slippery because it was raining.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like a stone ledge that leads from like where they start into the college.
But it's like open on both sides.
Yes, like you could fall either way. And she said it was like 18 inches wide.
Okay.
So like a foot and a half, like this.
I pictured it like short or like thinner than that.
I mean,
but
nevertheless,
still,
it's treacherous.
And it's high up because they kept talking about like how the wind was like knocking people down.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So she meets this girl. Is it Rhiannon?
I heard, in my head, it was Rhiannon because I think of the Fleetwood Mac song, Rhiannon.
Okay.
You can call her whatever you want.
Okay. I mean, I probably had like 3 different pronunciations for her name along with everything else in this book.
Yeah.
So Rhiannon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she meets this girl, Rhiannon, and they kind of like hit it off right away. Like they're standing in line next to each other, and Violet notices that her boots are like very like the treads are like gone. Like they're very like flat, not very grippy. So she offers to like switch their left boots. I think it was the left. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And she agrees. So they like make it across the parapet, and then they like switch back. But there's like this guy named Jack Barlow who's like behind her, and as she's like crossing the parapet, he's like trying to like knock her off. Like he like hates her from like the very beginning. And I think that's because she's like what's her last name again? Soren
Gale. Yeah, because her mom's like super high up, so she's got like a target on her back.
Yep. Yeah. So he like is constantly threatening her to like that she's gonna knock him off, or that he's gonna knock her off, and like she like turns around and sees him like pluck someone off of the parapet and like throw him off. So she like is like hurrying to like get across this, and it's like slippery, it's windy, she's like really small, which is like a big factor for like becoming a rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when she makes at the end, she like threatened his balls with a knife.
Yeah, she was literally like poking him in the balls with like one of her knives.
Yeah.
Because he almost got her. Like right at the very end, she like had to throw her whole body to get over the edge.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's when she like banged up her knee pretty good. And like throughout this book, there's just always something wrong with her.
I know. I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
And she like is like, she's not like proud of it, but she's like, yeah, that happens to me.
She, like,
I'm always hurt.
She
I deal with
bounces
it
back really well though.
Exactly.
Like broken arm, no big deal.
Yeah.
Like
And then like people are like, work through the pain or whatever. She's like, I do that every day.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
another day.
Yeah, she's very strong.
Yeah.
But then there's this like guy named Dane from her like childhood. She's like known him all his life or all her life. And he like keeps like putting her down throughout the book, like saying like she's not like enough pretty much to like be a writer, which I think like that definitely like encourages her more to like get through the program.
Yeah.
But he constantly is trying to get her out of the writer quadrant and back into the scribe college.
Yeah.
So he tries to like make deals with like the scribe professors and everything to like try to get her over there. And he's like constantly coming up to her with some offering. Well, he does this like right after the parapet. And he doesn't like think she's like gonna survive at all.
Yeah.
He's like constantly putting her down and like calling her weak. And
yeah. I mean, like, do you feel like he's coming from a good place though? Like, do you think he's trying to get her out of there, like to protect her?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, yes. Yeah. I mean, they've known each other their whole lives. Like, he watched her grow up. I think that, yeah, he is coming from a good place. Yeah, I don't think he's like doing it to like. I mean, how would that? I guess I can't see how that would be bad. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think he like is coming from a good place, but he's just like putting her down the whole time. Like he does it in a very like weird way. And like in the beginning, like this first instance where he's like, we got to get you out of here. It's because like he didn't expect to see her, and he is worried about her. But then like you said, throughout the book, it just gets like almost degrading the way he goes about it.
I wonder if he's like trying to like convince her that like he's trying to help convince herself that she's like too weak to get into it, because like obviously none of the tactics that he's used before have like worked to get her out. So like I wonder if he keeps like putting her down because like he's trying to like train her brain to think like, oh, I'm not enough for this, I need to go, you know?
Yeah, he's got like a really fucked up way of like trying to convince her to leave her. Yeah, no, he like, I don't know if like misogynistic is the right word, but like he just like really doesn't have like any faith in her at all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree with that.
But she like in this moment likes him. Like she has kind of like feelings for him that have stemmed from their childhood and like all the memories they've had together growing up and stuff. So she's like thrilled to see him. She actually like, she's kind of like nasty in a way. Like, just dirty.
Oh, she's very dirty, yeah.
Because, like, she says something to him when they're, like, walking away to try to, like, hide her injury. She, like, kind of makes, like, a funny remark at him. And he was like, oh, glad to see, like, you still have that sharp tongue. And she's like, that's not the only thing my tongue can do.
Yeah, she's a huge flirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a very
she's kind
dirty
of
flirt.
a freak, but, like, I like it.
Yeah.
It makes it funny.
There's a lot of instances of that in the book.
Yeah. Like, and that's the great part too about being in her head is that, I mean, she says that out loud, but there's like a couple of times where she's like staring at all the shirtless guys like fighting and stuff, and just in her head she's like getting all hot and bothered. Like it's just funny.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So they get like assigned their squads, and she like gets assigned to Dane's squad. He like pulled some strings. And he got her and her friend Rhiannon. Rhiannon. Sorry, guys.
We should call her like Rhea or something.
Yeah, let's do it. Rhea. Sounds good.
Okay.
So he got her and her friend Rhea in his wing. Well, there's this guy named Zayden who Violet's sister Mira like warned her to like stay away from, because he has like a history with their mother and his parents, and he like has it out for Violet and their family, the Sorrengales.
Or like she thinks that. Like, do you think like knowing what we know now, like do you think he actually like hated her in the beginning, or do you think that she was just like convincing herself that he did?
Knowing what see, I was thinking about that, and I don't know, because like he did say at one point like he did want to kill her. So I think like he hated, but then at another time he said that he loved her from like the moment he saw her.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know.
I can't remember, like, some of the earlier things that he said, but it was more of, like, a don't touch her, she's mine kind of thing, or was, like, kind of laying claim to her, and which sounds violent, but might not have been that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to know. But, yeah, he has every reason to hate her.
Yeah,
just because, like, her or his dad or his parents were, like, the leaders of the rebels, and her mom executed them. And then him and, like, the other rebel children were, like, put into foster care. Mm-hmm. So he has, like, a tough background.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have any reason to like this going into this college, or, I mean, he's, like, a third year, so he's been there for a few years, but, like, they've never given him anything to care about.
Yeah. True. But, like, after the squad assignments, like, came, Xaden, like, commanded, I should say, Violet to be switched to his wing. So, why do you think that he, like, moved her?
Yeah, I don't think we ever really find out why he did that, but he was, like, looking right at her when he was, like, whispering to the other, like, wing leaders. I think it was to, like, keep an eye on her. I mean, I think that he kind of, like, had the hots for her in the beginning, or was like, oh, she's cute or something, and, like, obviously knowing who she was because somebody called her, like, Sorrengail right in front of him. Yep. So I think he was just kind of like, I want to keep an eye on you kind of thing.
You don't think he had, like, a vendetta against her to, like, kill her? Like, do you think he wanted to kill her at that point?
I don't think so. I think, like, maybe he was having, like, a battle between, like, right and wrong in his head. Like, I should hate her, but I don't really get a vibe. Like, he's just like, I'm not getting that when I look at her. You know, when you kind of look at somebody or you meet somebody and you can just kind of tell how they are.
Yeah, sometimes.
I just wonder if maybe he was, like, picking up vibes like, oh, she doesn't seem like the devil.
Well, he probably, I wonder if he saw her, like, exchange the boot.
That's true.
Yeah, and then he probably saw her, like,
fight Jack Barlow at the end. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think? You agree, or?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, like, he was having, like, an inner battle of, like, should I hate this person or should I like them? You know?
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, I think he, like, moved to keep an eye on her. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Like, I don't think it was, like, to get closer to her or anything. Like, I think it was just, like, I think he might have had thoughts of, like, killing her at this point. And, like, he wanted to keep an eye on her and, like, maybe find more out before he, like, followed through with it.
Well, and also with, like, the rebel children, like, gathering in secret and him, like, watching over them and basically taking responsibility for them, like, saying that he'll keep them in line or whatever and, like, take whatever punishment, like, they deserve. Like, I wonder if he was, like, keep your friends close, your enemies closer kind of thing. Like, he was like, I need her, like, close by just to make sure that she's not going to, like, tattle on us to her mom.
True.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. I thought it was so funny. Like, this is jumping ahead a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not much, but when she was, like, hiding in the tree. Yeah. And they were, like, having the meeting since we're kind of, like, on the topic about it.
Yeah.
Of course, his signet is, like, shadows.
Yeah. She's just, like, sitting in them.
He knew she was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny to me.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
And then there's a part where he was like, go back to your room before your wing leader finds out, or before I tell your wing leader. And she's like, you are my wing leader. Yeah. Like, cute.
I know. That was really cute.
Yeah. Anyway, do you know what was, like, really confusing me was, like, the wings and the sections and the squads?
Oh my God. Don't get me started.
So because I reread this book for this episode, like, for the first time I read it, like, a couple months ago. If our listeners have been following along with us each week, they know that I, like, obsess over it constantly. But, like, rereading it, I was paying closer attention to certain things that, like, tripped me up the first time around. So I, like, memorized how she described it, but there's, like, 4 wings, and they're in 4th wing. And then there's 3 sections in each wing.
Oh, God.
And then 3 squads in each section.
Okay, yeah, like, I didn't pay attention to that at all.
They're all, like, stemming to Xaden. Like, he is, like, the wing leader of the 4th wing. And then
there's a wing leader of like the third, the second, and the first.
Yeah.
So there's only 4 wing leaders.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there's probably 12 section leaders.
And that's Dane. He's a section leader?
He's a squad leader, which is another sub-tier.
Oh.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Oh my God. We need like a chart.
I was going to draw something like just to remember, like, it's confusing because she'll say things like, oh, this section, this squad, this whatever. And it's like, huh?
Well, like I love when authors like put like little like maps and stuff like in the book. Like she should have like a little graph.
She did? Well, yeah, she didn't have like one for like the squads or anything.
Yeah,
but
she had the maps and I didn't really look at it. Like I looked at it once because like I felt like there wasn't like that much of a need to look at it yet.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if there was like pronunciation list and like that, like a graph showing like the leadership and just like more on like the politics of it would be nice.
Yeah, I don't remember like any of the region names.
Oh, me either.
Like, I know they're in like Navarra. I just kept thinking like Navarro Cheer. From the Netflix show Cheer.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
And there's like...
There's one that starts with a T.
There's Tirsen, Paramiel. I'm probably botching
them.
I'm botching the names though, but like I don't know who comes from where. Is Paramiel like the rebel one?
I thought that was the T one.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Sorry, guys. But yeah, the names are very hard.
We were just talking about how we just figured out what the war college is called.
Yeah.
Basgiath.
If you're listening to this, I'm assuming you've read it already. Otherwise, you're going to be hearing all the spoilers. But like, if you by chance have gotten this far and you haven't read it yet, do yourself a favor and look up the pronunciations of everything the first time you see it. Because like, I had this like I had 3 different pronunciations in my head for like all these different names.
Yeah.
And like now it's so hard for me to like switch back to like what it actually is. So like if you look at it like the first time that you read it, then you're going to keep reading it like that and it will get easier. But like, yeah, I don't know. Look up the pronunciations. They're hard.
Good luck.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all reading the same story.
Yeah, definitely.
Just sounds different in our
same
heads.
Plots.
Yeah. Anyway, back on track here. So, they get into the college and like, of course they start like their history lessons and then their combat like practice where they fight each other. And right off the bat, like Violet gets hurt again. This girl, I thought it was Imogen. It's probably Imogen. Imogen is like part of the rebel children and she's like a second year and they throw her in to fight Violet, which seems like kind of fair, like starting off, like not even squaring her up against somebody that's like
not
of
fair.
Similar capability. Yeah. Okay. Not fair.
You said fair, I think.
Oh, not fair. Yeah, because she like has a lot more experience and ends up like breaking Violet's arm. But Violet like refuses to like tap out and then she's like, here's a crack in her bone. So anyway. And then of course Dane's there and he's like, you need to leave, like just being such a little asshole about the whole thing.
Any second he gets. So next Mira writes Violet a letter that includes like it was like a diary or something, wasn't it? That Brennan wrote
to like Mira.
Yep, when she was like going through the college.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we covered Brennan yet, but Brennan is her older brother who was murdered by Zayden's dad, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so he was murdered by Zayden's dad. And then he wrote this diary to Mira. She was like going through the college because he has already been through it. And it shares that the instructors decide ahead of time like who will fight who. Which is like questionable and like
Yeah.
With like the whole thing with like Imogen and her like fighting.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like really a whole fair. Conspiracy.
Yeah.
But her being like the resourceful gal that she is, like she takes advantage of this information and like decides that she's going to poison or like make her opponent sick.
I thought that was so fucking funny.
I know.
At first I didn't know if it was her doing it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like Dane.
Yeah.
And then I caught on, which it probably said she was doing it from the beginning.
She was doing like lunch duty, so she'd just like slip it into their food like the day before. And then like Zayden later on was funny. Like, when I'm jumping ahead, but like when he like steps in to fight her, he's like, you can keep poisoning people or you can actually learn how to fight. Like, yeah. But so that's how she's like up in the tree that one night, is because she's like looking for berries. Mm-hmm. And then she just like happens to be in the tree that's like right under where all the rebel children are like gathering. Yep. And they're not supposed to gather in like more than groups of 3. It's like against the rules.
Yeah, I was like wondering why that's against the rules. I mean, we find out later in the book, but like
probably just because they don't want them to be plotting as like a big group.
Well, do you remember why, though?
Oh, maybe not.
It's because it was something with, like, the professors can't, like, snoop on them or something when they're in, like, groups bigger than 3.
Oh.
They can't, like... It was, like, something weird. Like, they can't, like, see them when they're in groups of 3 or, like, hear them when they're in groups of 3 or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, it was something weird like that.
Gotcha.
But...
Yeah. Well, and she finds out that they're not plotting to do anything. Mm-hmm. Like, they're, like, helping each other out. Zayden's basically, like, looking out for all of them. And, like...
Yeah.
Because, again, like, a lot of them are, like, foster children or had, like, tough backgrounds. And he's just, like, put it upon himself to, like, keep them in the game, basically. Keep them alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she, once the coast is clear, after they all leave... She is kind of like deciding like, oh, should I tell? Should I not? And she decides she's not going to, just because like he's actually like helping them like survive. Yeah. Like they're not plotting, like you said. But she like jumps down from the tree and Zayden like jumps her and like comes up behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they like kind of like flirt a little bit and
yeah. She's like throwing daggers at him and stuff.
Yep.
It's so cute.
Did she find out at this time that he can... he's a shadow.
Yeah, because he was like literally my signet is shadows, and you were like literally in a massive shadow, like listening to the whole thing.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think that's like when I fell in love with him, was like this moment in the book.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really cute together.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen that meme where it's like where a bunch of guys are high-fiving and it's like all the shadow daddies like welcoming Zayden into the group, and it's like Azrael and like Cassian and Rhysand and stuff, like, or all the
just no, from, that's like, funny though.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that. I want to look it up.
I'll show you after.
Sounds good.
But it's just so funny because it's like they're all like that in fantasy romance books. They're all like dark and mysterious and sexy and all the things.
Bad boy type.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyway, that's funny. So she successfully is able to like make all of her opponents sick, like I said. And then that's when like Zayden one day is like, well, I'll take over, because like her opponent is too sick to fight her. And it's like so cute because instead of like literally like taking her down, like he could easily like break a bone or something, like he like kind of takes it as an opportunity to like teach her. So he's like whispering things to her and stuff, and like is slowly like taking her knives out of her hands and like just basically like making a fool out of her, but it's like kind of cute at the same time. But yeah, her like dirty little mind too. Like there's one point where he's like in between her legs or something, and he's like, this is the perfect position to like hit me in the ribs or something, and she's like, I can think of other things that could happen in this position. Like Jesus Christ, this girl, like
okay, but like who wouldn't be thinking of that?
Oh yeah, position, and he's so hot, like of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just so funny.
I think it's so sweet. Like he like has this whole like bad boy persona, but like he just like This is like when you start to see that he's like really just trying to like help her and like teach her and make sure she's like successful, which is the complete opposite of Dane. Mm-hmm. Like Dane is just like constantly like tugging her down, and then Xaden's like constantly like pulling her back up.
Yeah.
Like it's cute.
It is so cute.
She's like having like those conflicting thoughts too, that like, oh, I should hate this guy. Mm-hmm. But he's like, what is there to hate about him so far?
Yeah.
Like, he's literally done nothing.
Yeah. I'm glad that she's like forming her own opinions, because like there's other books that we've read that like the character hears rumors or that a person is a certain way, and then so they go like halfway through the book thinking that that's how they are based on like other people's perceptions. And I like how she's just like smart enough to figure it out on her own.
Yeah. And everyone hates him.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's nice that she is figuring it out.
Yeah.
Herself.
Yep.
She's pretty independent.
Yeah. I like her a lot. Mm-hmm. She's a great main character.
Tough. Yeah. Independent.
I like being in her head. She's dirty. She's smart. What more could you want?
Yeah. That's definitely funny.
Yeah. So the next kind of big thing that they all go through is it's like the gauntlet, or maybe it's called the presentation. It's like the obstacle course. Like I literally pictured
like up the mountain or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally pictured like American Ninja Warriors.
Same.
With rocks.
Same. I literally did the exact same thing.
Yeah. But so she like really struggles with it, like when they're practicing and stuff. And she kind of figures out like a sneaky way to get through it, like the day of, by like using her knives to like hoist herself up. And because she knows like the codex and the rules so well, she's able to like argue her way out of like why she did what she did. Because that like Amber Mavis girl is like, you can't do that, and is like trying to get her in trouble and stuff.
Like accuses her of cheating
and just to make Dane even worse, like those two kind of had a fling, or like Violet thinks that they like have history.
Yeah. So like you said, like Amber Mavis is like accusing her of cheating, and Xaden is like the one who kind of like decides that.
Yeah.
Since he's the wing leader. Mm-hmm. And he thankfully like he takes off like some points for her time for what was it? It was one of the things that she did. Oh, using the rope to like swing up or something. She like used the rope for something, and then she like used her daggers later.
Yeah.
And that was like okay. So like he approved it. So Amber like now probably has this like vendetta against her to like
get in line, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that's like really scary about this college is like everything that like you do, like all the tests you do, like you can die from. Like it's not just like,
and they're like fine with them killing each other as long as like you just can't kill somebody that's in your squad.
Yep.
So that leaves,
or in their, you can't kill anyone in their sleep either. That was another thing.
Yeah. It's like everybody else is fair game. It's just like survival of the fittest. Like if you can't protect yourself, if you can't get through these like challenges, like they don't want you.
Yeah.
It's just like constantly like being worried about her, honestly. Mm-hmm. The only thing that was getting me through it was like just like knowing that she's gonna get through the book most likely, and
like, she's the main character, and
there's
you're
like
in her head.
And like word on the street is there's like 4 more books coming.
Yeah, isn't there gonna be like 5 in the series?
Yeah, that's what like Rebecca Yarros like said on TikTok. I watched like a video where people had asked her like how many there were gonna be, and she said that she had like 5 plotted out.
Dang.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks because like I hopped on the ACOTAR train like when they were all out.
Yeah, and I have to wait.
Now I have to wait like everyone else did when ACOTAR first came out.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
I know, we haven't gotten an ACOTAR book in like over 2 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's supposed to be like 2 more or something for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess I am waiting, but still.
You should read Crescent City.
I still have to finish Silver Flames.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for like the last 20 podcast episodes, so.
You'll get there.
Yep, eventually.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, like you were saying, everybody just like drops like flies. It's like people are dying on the parapet. People are dying on this like obstacle course. They're literally just dying like left and right, like out of the littlest things. Like,
knowing that, like, would you want to like befriend anyone?
Yeah, because otherwise I feel like it'd be super lonely.
But like it might make it worse though, like when your friends die, you know? Like,
yeah. I don't know. I feel like it'd be hard not to make friends though. They spend so much time together.
True. But like also just the fact that like anyone can kill you except like your squad. It's just like scary. Like, who do you trust?
Right. And then like before the threshing, they get to go like kind of meet some of the dragons, and literally like one or two of them just get like burned to a crisp.
Yeah, that was like one of the tests too. They had to like walk through like I pictured it like a hallway of dragons, but like outside obviously.
Yeah, and like don't make eye contact and like don't be an asshole.
Yeah, and she like accidentally made eye contact with like one of them, and that's pretty crazy. I was waiting for who was Radoc or whatever.
Radoc?
Was he the one behind her?
Yeah, with one of their friends.
To get fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We should get into the threshing then.
Yeah.
This part was like wild. Like I was so curious to see like what was gonna go down.
Same.
Did you think she was gonna bond?
Yeah, I had a feeling she was going to, but I like did not know I felt like it was to the golden dragon just because like they made that such like a like she's small, that dragon was small, and they made that such like a point.
Yeah.
During like the pre-walk thing. So like I definitely thought like the golden dragon, but like I did not think she was gonna like bond to two dragons and one of them being the biggest one in the fucking like kingdom pretty much.
Yeah.
Like
no, I thought she was gonna bond with like Andarna. Mm-hmm. Just because like you said, they're both little, they're both kind of underdogs here. Mm-hmm. So I thought like they would bond, and then like Andarna would have this like special ability, which she does. Like but I just thought like it was gonna be kind of like that. But yeah, no like inkling whatsoever that like she was gonna have two. I didn't even know that was an option. Exactly. Nobody else knew that either.
It's not really though. She's like that's the first that's ever happened.
Yeah, and so like the reason why she bonds with them is because like Jack Barlow and like two of those other assholes are like plotting to go kill like the little golden dragon. It's like, why? Like, I know your main priority should be finding yourself a dragon. Like, why are you like being such an asshole all the time?
To weed out the weak.
Like, yeah, it's just, it's not necessary. But
it's not your job.
like her, like not, thinking that that's right or fair or whatever. She wants to go like warn the little dragon, and then ends up like trying to defend her. And she kind of like fights them. She ends up really injuring one of them. Does she kill another one? No, Tarn does.
Yeah, so Jack got injured and ran away like a little baby. Mm-hmm. Tynan was the one, or Tynan, or however you say his name, is the one that was killed by Tarn.
Yeah.
And then Oren was left, and right? Am I mixing Oren and
yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Oren was the one that survived?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than Jack. But yeah, so I think that's when like Xaden like also kind of stepped in, where he was like, look out or whatever, because like Oren was gonna like hit her from the back or whatever. Yeah, so anyways, because she like stepped in and was trying to protect Andarna, that's when like Tarn decided to bond with her, because like she showed bravery and that she cares about their kind and stuff. And then Andarna like wanted to bond too, even though she's too little, but it caused this whole debacle. But the dragons ultimately get the final say, and they were like, yep, it's fine.
Yep.
So good for her.
So everyone's like pissed off because Violet was chosen by two dragons. Mm-hmm. So like the generals and stuff are like trying to figure out like if that's okay. And like you said, like it's all up to the dragons.
Yeah.
But Dane, which he pisses me off. He tells her that he should choose Andarna because she's the safer option.
Yeah. She'd have like less of a target on her back.
Yeah. But like, Not really, because people wanted Andarna dead too because
Yeah.
she's weak. Like, why? Like, why do you think he actually did that? Like, I just thought that was so like weird. Like, that's like when I really, really started to question Dane.
Yeah, almost
and
like he was
his
like
true
jealous.
motive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he was just so weird about it. Like,
yeah, I know. I can see like both ways where like Tarn would be more likely to protect her. He's more experienced dragon. He's massive dragon, but like at the same time, like all the unbonded now like
Everyone
definitely
wants
go
him.
after her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He sucks, but yeah, he tries to reason with her, and then like after the bonding stands, like he kind of like tries to like kiss up to her a little bit, and then like kisses her.
Ew.
And she was just like
not having it.
Yeah, she's like, I think I'm supposed to like this, but I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So then around like that time too, that's when like that's another one of Dane's reasons too, is that Sigale and Tarn are like mated dragons. Mm-hmm. And since that's Xaden's dragon, like Dane was also like, well, you're gonna have to be stuck to Xaden all the time. Like you're not gonna be able to like stray too far from him and all this stuff. And so yeah, that's like another kind of big thing too, where like we as readers are like, oh, forced proximity. Like now they have to spend time together. Before we move on to like another thing is that like Dane and Xaden also like get into an argument because like Dane's all like, oh, you stepped in, and is like telling Xaden that he broke the rules, but Xaden was like, I was just narrating. And then Xaden asked Dane like if the roles were reversed and like Violet was in danger, like what would you do? And he was just like, nothing.
Oh yeah, because he's like so like for the Codex and like
yeah,
he's annoying.
He gives me like Percy Weasley vibes. I guess you've seen Harry Potter, right?
Yeah. Oh,
yes. Duh. Dumb question.
Oh my God.
You have a whole soap line on it.
Yeah.
I forgot. You've watched them, but you haven't read them?
No, I haven't read them.
They're pretty similar. But so, yeah, Percy Weasley's like the
oldest.
The do-gooder,
right?
like kind of like is estranged for a while from the family. Spoiler alert, because like, I don't know. He works for the Ministry of Magic, and it's similar situation.
That's funny. I never would have thought of that, but I see it.
I pictured Hogwarts this entire book.
Really?
Yeah.
I pictured Divergent. Like Broken City.
Yeah. I used to just pictured like the college looking like Hogwarts.
Kind of, I guess, because like
stone.
Yeah, and like how the stairways. I mean, this isn't like in Hogwarts, I don't think, but like the stairways don't have like railings. Like you can just like fall like right down on the inside too.
Yeah.
It's, like how they described a couple of them. But yeah, I guess.
And they go to like class and stuff, and they go to those like war lessons or whatever. Yeah. I just pictured them all like sitting in some of those like Hogwarts classrooms, like from the movie.
True. Oh yeah. Yeah, I could see it. I guess I didn't picture it like that, but I could see it.
I mean, I pictured it regardless of what the descriptive terms were saying. That's just like how it was in my head, and I'm like, this is what we're going with.
Yeah. But it's funny how like how that happens.
I know. When they're like, oh, this person has red hair, and I'm like, no, they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Actually, though, like I pictured Violet's hair so many different ways.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yep. Yeah, so moving forward, because like Xaden and Violet are essentially bonded in kind of a way too, just between their dragons, like he takes it upon himself to like, you know, give her more protection, like help her with her training. I mean, he's more so like delegating the responsibilities to like his rebel children friends.
Yeah. I have a question. Did you like understand like why Xaden would die if Violet died?
No.
Did you like think it was just because he like liked her and like he like didn't want to lose her? Because like I didn't understand why he would like how he could actually die if Violet died.
Yeah.
Because like Violet can die without her dragon, but if her dragon dies, she dies.
Yeah.
But like she can get murdered by her classmates and be fine, and the dragon will be fine. So like the mating bond would still exist.
Yeah. I don't know.
So how would Xaden die?
I I don't know. I don't understand like the logic of it. I think it's just kind of one of those things, and maybe we both missed the reasoning behind it, but I just think it's like one of those things that the author was like, this is how it is, and we're all like, okay. Like, we didn't really get like the logic behind it, you know?
But was it ever brought the other way around? Like, if Xaden died, that Violet would for sure die?
I think so.
Oh, it was?
I think it goes as a two-way street.
So weird. Okay. Yeah, I want to know, like, more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could just be like, oh, that's just the way it is thing, but, like,
yeah,
I need to know more. Like,
yeah,
how that's, like, possible, you
know? It's a solid question. I don't know the answer, but maybe we'll get more answers in the future books.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just, like, thinking, like, oh, he was just saying that because, like, he didn't want to lose her, you know?
Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. So then a group of students, like, try to attack Violet in the night, like, while she's sleeping, which is a big no-no, like you said. And so she, like, tries to fight them off. That's when we, like, kind of see, like, the first opportunity of, like, power being channeled to her, where, like, Andarna is able to, like, stop time. So, like, Violet can, like, protect herself in a sense. But then Xaden as eventually, like, kind of steps in and helps, like, resolve the attack.
Yeah, Xaden, like, notices, like, that something happens because, like, she was, like, at her bed and then all of a sudden she was, like, next to him.
Yeah.
So, like, after he, like, murders everyone in that room who, like, tried to attack her, she, like, accused Amber of being a part of it, which Amber, if we remember, is one of Dane's friends from Amber Mavis. And she, like, saw Amber, like, fleeing when she, like, woke up. But right after this happened and Xaden killed everyone, he, like, drug her to the dragons to, like, find out, like, what happened and, like, why everyone, like, how everyone got in her room because it was locked.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he had put, like, a charm on it.
That was after.
Oh, okay.
Yep, after he put a ward on it. But yeah, and then that's, like, when they find out that, like, all, like, they find out so much information during this, but, like, one, that Andarna is a baby.
Yeah.
Two, that Andarna's power was, like, given to Violet, not just, like, channeled.
Yeah.
Because, like, baby feathertails or whatever, like, they can't just, like, share the power. They have to, like, give it to them.
Yeah. So
and,
it's, like, draining.
Yep. And so, like, that's, like, why Andarna, like, chose Violet, because, like, you can abuse that power and, like, literally kill the baby dragon. And, like, Andarna knew that, like, Violet would never do that. What was another thing that they found out during that? It was...
Is that when they kind of found out that, like, Xaden and Violet, like, couldn't live without the other?
Maybe. Yeah. And
I
think
they found out more about kind of that link.
Yep. And then they also find out that they can, like, hear each other's dragons too.
And hear each other's thoughts.
I don't think that was during that part.
Oh.
Because that was later when Xaden, like, popped into her head and she, like, couldn't figure out how to get into his.
That's when they kissed.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Cute.
So all that happened.
Yeah, a lot went down. Oh my gosh, so much stuff happens in this book. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah, so like you said, like, Amber Mavis was a part of it. And she, like, accuses her because she, like, gets away. And Dane's, like, calling her a liar, essentially. And he's like, show me, and, like, demands that he can, like, touch her face and, like, look at her memories. And she gets, like, pissed off, like, doesn't want him to. Yeah. And so they're able to, like, dam Amber basically through, like, the dragons. Like, Violet shares, like, what happened with her dragons, and they share it with the rest of the dragons, and Amber gets executed.
Yep.
So.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bitch. Yeah. So things start to, like, heat up, too, between Xaden and Violet. They both, like, have kind of a rough night because their dragons are, like, going at it. And that, like, apparently makes them horny. when their dragons are horny.
During the book, I was wondering if it was like also the other way around. Like,
yeah.
Because Violet's horny all the time.
That's probably why Tarn picked her, because she's just like nasty.
Yeah. Oh, before we get into that though, like I love Tarn and hers relationship.
Yeah,
because,
their banter and their heads.
So cute.
Yeah.
Like she literally just tells him off all the time, and I'm like, oof.
Yeah,
I wouldn't fuck with him.
Yeah, I know, she's so sassy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's when they kiss. Is like they're both just kind of like trying to fight it off, and they've been attracted to each other for a while, and yeah, it happens.
But then they separate.
I know. Well, and she's kind of like desperado, like for a while there, like wanting to be with him or like try things, and he's just like, no, this is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I wish that she had maybe not been so like 100, you know, like
I see that.
I kind of wish like she'd continued this like smart girl, like I mean she's got a lot to offer. Like she's gotten through all these things like on her own, and like she doesn't need to be like on her knees for him, you know, like I feel like she could be like a little bit harder to get.
Did you kind of like get a sense that like because like their dragons were mated, like they're like mated in a way, like they were like destined for each other too, you know?
Yeah.
So, like if that's like why she acted like that, like she just like had like
it was just part of the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, because she always felt this like gravitation towards him all the time. Like she could literally like sense when he's in a room without even hearing or looking. Like he was like she could just sense it. So like I feel like there's like some kind of like bonded connection. Yeah. Between them. Yeah.
I'm sure like he felt it too, but he was more so able to just be like, I don't know, you're too good for me. Like I don't know, this is a bad idea. Like this is gonna be messy.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of like, I'm gonna win him over no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
But I kind of wish she had like, I don't know, played some games, you know? Like
she did a little bit. A little bit, not a lot after that kiss.
She should have like hooked up with Liam.
Or no, it was after the hookup. You wanted her to?
Well, no, but like, I don't know. Don't you wonder like what's going to happen with these books now that like she got the guy right in the first book? Like what now?
I swear to God, if they pull a whole like Reese Tamlin thing, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Spoiler alert.
I know, I didn't spoil anything. I just said that there's something between them. And then...
Yeah, he's like, spoiler alert of Avatar, Tamlin 2.0.
Yeah, what if, though? I'll be pissed. Because, like, reading Avatar, I was like, I like, kind of like I like Tamlin.
Yeah.
The first one.
There wasn't really any red flags
until the end.
Yeah.
But, like, what if that's Xaden? And there's someone better. What if Xaden is the Tamlin and then someone else is the Reese?
You can't do better.
You could.
Maybe.
You never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I hope that's not the case. But like.
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be like. Okay, because this book like aligns with the Divergent series so much, I think. Like there's so many similarities. And like I can't remember the characters' names. I know 4 because he's hot. But like what's the main girl's name?
I don't know. Shailene Woodley.
Yeah. So she, whatever her name is in the show or in the movie, but they like hit it off from the beginning, and they're like together the rest of the books and movies. I haven't read the books, but like it could just be like that. Like it's gonna be more like the rest of the books are probably gonna be more like
keeping
focused on the government and like defeat like them as like a team defeating this like as like a rebellion, like defeating this like bigger thing than them, you know?
Yeah.
Because like that's kind of how it is in the Divergent series.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
There's a lot of obstacles keeping them apart.
Well, they weren't necessarily kept apart, I would say, in the Divergent series. Like they were like pretty much together for the most part. But have you seen all of them?
I have, but it's been a really long time, and I haven't read the books.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't either. So yeah, I guess I don't know if the books are like completely different from the movies, but yeah, like they're kind of just like a power team for the most part, like going through this. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. But
yeah, interesting. Yeah, so then, like, the next big thing that happens at their school is they play, like, a dragon version of Capture the Flag, where they're, like, trying to get the other team's egg.
Yep.
And that's, like, when Violet, like, really all hell breaks loose, where she, like, discovers her signet, which is being able to channel lightning, and she ends up actually killing Jack Barlow in the process.
Good. Yes. Bye, Jack.
Bye.
Did you think, like, what were your, like, predictions for her signet?
I guess I didn't really think too hard about it, but I didn't think it would be lightning.
Same.
I was just like, that's kind of random.
I thought it was like it's not lame, like, when you learn more about it, but, like, I was like, lightning, like, I thought it was going to be something, like, completely, like, out there, you know?
Yeah. I guess because her mom's is, like, Storm. Like, yeah. Storms, like, maybe it's like a, like, mother, like, daughter thing, but then it's like, you can't really argue that it has anything to do with Xaden. I just don't see a link between lightning and shadows. No, I could see that she could, like, was like a light bringer or something.
It's supposed to be, like, what's at their core.
Okay.
Not, like, by their dragon or by, like, their surroundings. It's supposed to be, like, who they are at their core. So, like, that's why she made such a big deal about, like, how, like, lightning, like, destroys things, and, like, she wants to, like, put things back together. So she thought she was going to be, like, a mender, like her brother or something. But, like, how she, like, kept saying, too, like, how small she is and, like, how lethal her signet is making her.
Yeah, she's like a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we find, like, the meaning behind it.
Yeah, I was just, like, expecting just something, like, way out there, though. Like, that was, like, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be super powerful, but, like, I was just, like the end all be all of, like, Signets to be hers, you know?
Yeah.
So after Violet kills Jack, she, like, starts to, like, have a ton of regret about it, in a sense, and she, like, feels so much guilt. And she's just, like, getting overwhelmed with everything. And Xaden, like, comes to her room to, like, check on her. And they hook up for the first time.
What did you think of the spice?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that it wasn't, like... What book was it? Was it one of the Plated Prisoner series books where it was, like, just too, like...
graphic?
Yeah. Was it one of those ones?
I don't know. We've kind of read a lot of graphic books this year, I feel.
But, like, it was, like, gross.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, like, tasteful. Like, it was, like, too much, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the Plated Prisoner series. I'm trying to think which one it was. Because I liked the Plated Prisoner series, and I liked the spice in it, but I think one of the books was, like, too much for me or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, no, it was good.
Yeah.
What did you think?
No, I agree. It was, like, perfect. Like, that was, like, the kind of spice I want, where it's, like, steamy scene, but, like, you don't need to, like, describe, like, what his penis looks like to me. Like, I don't need to know.
Yes. Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's from, like, a slow burn, not slow burn, like, perspective. Where were you at with that? Like, did you feel like it was timed well?
I could have had it sooner, but...
Really?
Yeah. I like a slow burn, but, like, when it takes too long, I mean, at least we got, like, tastes of it.
Yeah.
And, like, the flirting helped a lot. Like, it wasn't just, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what about you? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, I feel like the timing worked well. I do like a slow burn. I think I would have been even fine with nothing happening between them in this book. I mean, I would have probably wanted them to at least
not, like, one spice scene in the book.
Well, like, make out or something, but
that's not enough.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm concerned about the future books.
There's
nothing to root for now.
I'm not when I think about it in the Divergent sense. Just because she followed, I feel like she got a lot of inspiration from that series.
Yeah.
It's just so similar. But, like, if you think about it in that sense, then it's, like, safe. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we won't get our hearts broken.
I think I stand by what I said where I think, like, there's going to be obstacles that keep them apart.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be captured for being a traitor, and her mom is going to try to, like, knock some sense into her.
They better not kill him off.
Yeah.
I'll stop reading.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll get to, like,
he's my favorite character.
The sad part at the end, but, like, this author doesn't really seem to have issues with, like, killing people off.
No.
That's a scary thing.
God.
Yeah, so anyway, they're, like, hot and heavy for a little while. There's, like, that whole parapet scene where he's kind of, like, he's just, like, going through it, like, in his head, just, like, she goes out there and he's, like, kind of mad at her, like, don't come out on the parapet, and she, like, wants to console him and stuff, and then, like, they have, like, kind of this emotional moment and, like, hook up again.
But, like, during that, like, the first hookup and then this time, like, Xaden was like, don't fall for me. I don't want, this can't go anywhere. Like, he would, like, ignore her for, like, months. And she was, like, kind of playing the games now, like, with him, like, constantly, like, testing him, like, flirting with him. And this is where we, like, during this, we, like, find out sometime during this that he can, like, or no, it was before the hookup. Because they were talking to each other in their minds before the hookup. Or during the hookup. So... a little time before the first hookup, which is the only hookup. They only hook up once.
No, there's two. There's the first one, and then there's the second one where they, like, break.
Yeah, well, you're right. In his
break
room.
All the furniture both times.
In his room, yeah. They did both times. But during the first one, I think, is, like, when they find, or before the first one, is that Xaden can, like, talk to her. Mm-hmm. Or was it during the second one now?
Well, I feel like they could talk to each other for a while because he was trying to teach her to, like, block him out. Right? No, I don't know.
I can't remember.
It's not important.
Well, it is important that they can talk and, like, they can, like, communicate like they can with their dragons in their heads.
Yeah.
Which is, like, unheard of between two riders, you know. But it's because that their dragons are bonded. And this is, like, another thing where I think that it's also because, like, they're, like, mated. You know,
they're mates.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway,
yeah. Well, then they're interrupted because that's when, like, the final kind of big event of the year happens. They get tricked into thinking that they're, like, under attack, but really it's like I don't know, what's it called?
War games.
War games. There you go. So they're, like, basically put into a war situation, like a simulation, if you will. But they quickly find out it's not a simulation for them. Mm-hmm. But that's the part where, like, Dane, like, again, touches her face and, like, gets her memories and, like, uses it against them, essentially. Like, sets them up.
Yeah. And he says to her, so, like, during this whole scene, Xaden, like, well, Violet was assigned to Dane's, like, outpost,
to go with
which
her
is
squad.
Yeah, which is within the wards of the city, so, like, protected. And Xaden comes and, like, takes her and was like, "No, she's coming with us," and they're going outside the wards. And then that's when, like, Dane, like, argues a little bit and is like, "You can't keep her safe. Like, she's safer here." And Xaden's like, "No, she's safest with me." Like, our dragons are bonded. So yeah, like you said, Dane touches her face when they leave, and he said, "I'll miss you, Violet," which is, like, weird.
It's because, like, he knew he set them up.
Yep. No, yeah, I know, but, like, at the time we didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he knew about, like, the whole setup and that she was gonna die.
Yeah.
But, like, that, him saying that, like, as you're reading the book, just, like, makes you think, like, what is, like, something's not right already.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Well, even this part, like, I just was like, even though you know fairly early on after they realize it's not real that, like, it's a simulation, just that this world and this college are so, like, cutthroat that, like, I just had a feeling, like, in my stomach that, like, something bad was going to happen.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So, like, when they get to their outpost, like, that's when, like, the Griffin Riders show up, which are, like, their enemies. And that's like why Xaden's parents got in trouble in the first place, was like being rebels and supporting this like enemy group that rides these like half lion, half eagle. Is that what the griffins are?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so like they show up and she's like, what the hell? And like they're giving them weapons to fight the wyvern, which she's like, I thought that was just a story. Like in the books that she's through. Well, the wyverns are like the creature that they ride.
They didn't know wyverns were real at that time. They were fighting the venom. Because they didn't know wyverns were real until they saw them at like when the venom came and like started attacking.
Oh.
Because it was like all part of like the folklore or whatever.
Yeah.
And they kept saying like, oh, like if the venom are real, like I hope the wyverns aren't real.
Gotcha. Chicken before the egg.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, she was not happy about that. She like lost all trust in Xaden during this time, which is really sad.
At least like I get the feeling, just based on like kind of how the ending was going and stuff, that like I don't think she's gonna be totally pissed off at him for that long. Like it seemed like she was really gonna like think about it, like think logically. It didn't really feel like quite like a miscommunication trope. Like I think she said something along the lines of like, well, you're going to have to earn my trust back, which is valid. Like he kept a big thing from her, but like I didn't get the feeling like she's going to be irrational and like make him pay for it for like weeks, you know?
Yeah. I mean, with how the ending goes though, I mean, we'll get to that, but like what happened at the end, like I feel like it's just another thing to add to the list that he lied to her about, and that's a big one.
Yeah. A
big one. So I feel like she's either going to be mad at the surprise at the end, or she's going to be really mad at Xaden for not telling her. Like that, it's like one of the biggest secrets he could have kept from her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in that moment though, like I feel like that wasn't like, yeah, he lied, but like he's still like one of the good guys if you think about it. So I don't know.
I think it was more he just was keeping information.
Yeah.
And
for her safety though too. Like,
well, yeah, that, and it's like
for the
it's not like he's just gonna tell anybody that. Like he needed to get to know her a little bit. Like,
yeah,
makes sense.
That too. And he also mentioned that like because of Dane and his signet, like he can see all her memories. So like he didn't want to tell her anything until he knew that like that was safe, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, valid.
Yeah. But they find out they were set up, and the venom start coming to the city, and obviously like the city is full of like locals and like just,
and they're like the
innocents.
The enemy village.
Yep. Yeah. So the griffin, they decide to like fight alongside the griffins, the griffin riders, and like just a lot of shit goes down. People are like dropping like flies again.
Yeah.
But Liam ends up getting killed as he's like fighting to protect Violet and Tarn.
Yeah. His like
so
his dragon goes down first, right? And then like because of that he cannot survive.
Yeah, he like got thrown off his dragon, and Tarn and Violet were able to catch him, but his dragon was like going down by a wyvern.
Yeah. And
it finally got killed. And yeah, when your dragon dies, then the rider dies too. So like, even though Liam was safe on Tarn, he died.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really sad.
I know. It just keeps killing off the main characters.
He was like so good to her, like as a friend, just like looking out for her and stuff. Like he was so sweet. I was really sad.
Yeah. But the fight carries on. Violet gets poisoned by a venom right before she kills it. And then she starts to go in and out of consciousness. And the book kind of ends with her waking up in a different city.
Yeah.
Sorry. About to sneeze. she wakes up in a different city, and it's actually a city that was supposed to be destroyed, but it's like getting rebuilt, and it was like the city of the rebellions. But Xaden brought her there because he didn't have enough time to like make it to the healer back at the college.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like going to the next healer, and that healer / mender ends up being her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And the book kind of ends with her brother, like literally like the last like 2 sentences is like her brother Brennan walking in, and he's like, "Welcome to the rebellion."
Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps.
I know. That definitely gave me goosebumps. I was not expecting that at all.
No, I mean, you hear he's dead, you're like, okay, like, yeah, he's...
Yeah.
I need to know, like, what the deal is there.
Yeah. But, like, this ending is, like, what I was mentioning earlier of how, like, either she's going to be really fucking pissed off at Xaden for this, for, like, keeping this from her, or she's going to be, like, pissed off at her brother for, like, not coming to, like, get her, like, just like abandoning her.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, we'll see.
Wild.
Very wild.
Do you think Mira knows?
No. Do you?
I don't think she knows either. But that would be another twist.
She's
she
very,
was, like, in
like,
on it, too.
I like Mira, but she, like, very much reminds me of, like, Dane in a sense, where she's, like, so into, like...
She's, like, drinking the Kool-Aid.
Military.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wild.
Yep.
Well, we should discuss the characters. There's a lot of them, so we can say to, like, the main characters maybe, but, like, first things first, like, main character. What are your thoughts on Violet?
I like Violet. Like I said earlier, she's very strong, independent. She's a strong female lead. I guess, like, there was, like, something I didn't like about her. God, what was it? I think it was, like, her constant, like, she's strong, but she, like, also, like, it's okay for her to, like, talk about, like, how weak she can be, or, like no one else can, like, bring it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, she's, like, strong and independent, but, like, she's still, like, she talks about her, like, flaws.
Yeah.
But, like, then gets mad when other people do it, too, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's
like,
probably
hard
how,
for me
like,
to, like,
most people are.
Exact. No, I know. That's very, like, relatable. But,
like,
I don't
you
know.
can call yourself, like, all these things, but then if somebody else does it,
It's
like,
different.
it's, like, hell's gonna break loose.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like, it's very, like, real life. But,
yeah,
I don't know. What about you? What do you think of her?
I loved her. I mean, she's so many things. She's smart, resourceful. I like that she uses her wits to get through everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that she needed to, like, build up all this muscle and, like, I mean, she's channeling power, but she really got as far as she did thanks to, like, how smart she was. Yeah. And I just really like that about her, and I like how the author, like, kind of used that as, like, strength instead of, you know, quote unquote strength.
Yeah.
Physical strength. Yeah, I thought she was funny. I liked that she was, like, kind of horny the whole time. It's just, I don't know. When you're in somebody's head for 500 pages, like, you want it to be entertaining, and it definitely was.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah. Like I said, I was, like, a little bit wishing that she hadn't been so head over heels for Xaden. I mean, how could you not? Like, he's everything that you could ever want. But, like, I just felt like when he was kind of, like, giving her the cold shoulder a little bit, that she hadn't been so, like, desperate. Maybe it's just, like, an age thing. I don't know. Not like I'm trying to, like, stereotype, like, 20-year-olds. Like, we've all been there, early 20s, like, teens even. Like, you're kind of a hopeless romantic. Somebody has all the things you want, and suddenly, like, they are, like, the light of your life. Like, I feel like maybe that was, like, a testament to just, like, maybe her not having very many loves in her life and stuff. But also it's like, warranted. So, I don't know. Like, but really, really liked her. Like, she's just different than, like, other main characters I feel like we've read about recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she never had like the damsel in distress vibe. Even though everyone was trying to like make her into that.
She wasn't.
But she wasn't. Like, another thing I did like about her too is like she got a lot of help from Xaden, like a lot of help, but like she didn't like she like fought back with it for it, like with like the saddle.
Mm-hmm.
What was another one?
I mean, he gave her like he didn't give her the knife idea, but he told her like there's more than one way to like get through this challenge.
Yeah. But like, I mean, he helped her a lot, but she still like was able to like find her independence through that help as well.
Yeah,
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, she like found her own way, but like she had help, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's how they all get through it.
But it wasn't just like someone carrying her through the entire like college, you know.
No, and I'm glad that he didn't like step in during the dragon scene where like when Jack and those other guys like tried to attack her. He kind of did like verbally, but it's not like he jumped in front of her and like fought them off.
No, but
like,
he literally did take a step.
Yeah.
And she saw that,
but that's
which was
like
cute.
That's like cute, yeah.
Yeah.
But she like didn't need it in the end.
Yeah, he sets boundaries with her, which I like. Like he wants her to like be strong,
mm-hmm.
independent, and even though he like gives her a lot of help, he like still makes sure that she carries that independence with her as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And builds her up and like helps her improve and
yeah.
All right, well, what about Xaden?
I feel like we've gushed about him for an hour now. Well, Rebecca Yarros has crafted the perfect man. Like that's all I've got to say about that.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Who else? Her friends. I mean, her friends are great. Like Rhiannon, Rhea, we're gonna call her now. She's awesome. I just love like a girl's girl. Like I feel like it's great when female characters have good female friends.
Did you ever question their friendship in the beginning? Because I did. Like, if she was like,
yeah, everybody's ruthless there. You just
like
never know.
Halfway through, I was like, oh, she's probably fine.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I was just like waiting for something to happen where she like betrayed her, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I know. I was kind of leery of everybody pretty much at first. But like her other friends, like Liam, Rydok, I don't know. Bodhi, does he count, or is he more of like a
God? I don't even. Now you're like naming people that I don't even.
Yeah, that's too side character-y.
Yeah.
Dane.
Fuck Dane.
Yeah, Dane can.
I hate him now.
Eat shit.
He was fine in the beginning, but yeah, no, not anymore.
I know. Yeah.
I hope maybe she'll kill him off.
Yeah. The sad thing about him though is like he's just a rule follower.
Yeah, but like it's still like you can have your own morals.
Right. He's just like pathetic. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the deal with like her mom?
Oh, I don't like her. She's a bitch.
I don't get like what her deal is. Like why she's like that.
Yeah, I don't know. She's like not even like a mother, honestly.
No, she doesn't even look at her. Like when she like brought in like the 2 dragons like after the threshing, like you think her mom would be like beaming with pride. Like what more could you want from your child? And like she wouldn't even look at her.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she'll die too.
Maybe they'll all die.
Kill them all off.
Yeah. What about the world building?
I liked it, but I didn't like it as like it wasn't as detailed as ACOTAR was. Mm-hmm. And like I always compare to ACOTAR because that's like the best world building I've ever read. Mm-hmm. But like I just kept getting confused with like the ranks, with like everything, all the cities. Like it was getting confusing for me, I guess. Yeah. What were your thoughts on it?
I actually liked the level of descriptive terms. Like, I agree with you where like I was confused about like the government, and just like how that whole continent or whatever is laid out. Like just when they would talk about all these different places they would go, it just all blended into one in my head. Like, I could not distinguish, like, here or there.
Same.
Which I kind of wish there had been, like, a little bit more of, like, backstory to some of these places.
And a little more, like, description for it.
Yeah. I will say, though, like, the descriptive terms of, like, just basic things, like their school or, like, even the dragons where they're, like, Andarna's, like, a yellow dragon. Like, okay, got it. Like, golden dragon or whatever. Like, I can picture that. Like, Tarn's, like, big black dragon. Perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that, like, those things are very straightforward, or it's like, she's small and she's got, like, silver hair on the end. Like, okay, like, you know, that was all, like, good and dandy, and, like, I could picture all that stuff. So I actually did, like, appreciate that. The more of, like, the main plot, like, descriptive terms, like, were the perfect, I guess, detailedness for me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I felt like it could have been, like, a little bit more descriptive, but
yeah, it's just
like I said, I have a high bar with that now because of ACOTAR. So
yeah.
Well, do you have any predictions for the sequel?
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I think that she's probably going to get the lowdown on the rebellion. Like, her brother and her and Xaden are going to fill her in on everything, and she's going to learn about how her mom's actually the villain. I guess I'm just, like, curious how she's going to go back to school after finding all that out. Whether I'm assuming she's going to believe them. I mean, I don't know, her brother probably, but, like, she's got to go back to, like, her normal. Mm-hmm. And, like, how's that going to work? And then I'm sure, like, her and Xaden are going to have conflicts, but then they're going to have forced proximity. They can't be more than, like, a few days from each other or whatever. Like, yeah, I guess I'm curious to see, like, how all of that's going to tie together.
Yeah, I think, like, she's going to be mad at Xaden for a little while. Like, I feel like it's going to be, like, a whole thing, like, where it's going to be, like, another half to 3/4 of the book. We're not going to get, like, another spice scene just because, like, she's probably going to be, like, really pissed at him. But I think she's going to, like, stay with the rebellion. I think she realizes enough of, like, the stuff that's going on and, like, how, yeah, like, her mom is actually, like, the true villain. Mm-hmm. And just, like, that whole government is, like, the true villain. So I think she'll, like, join them. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how she, like you said, like, she intertwines that with, like, her normal life now.
Yeah.
And, like, going back to her normal, like, at the school, because she can't just, like, stay, I don't think. Yeah. You know? So
I mean, I kind of feel like she's gonna go back to school, but how that works, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but yeah, I think, like I said, like, I kind of have a prediction where it's going to be, like, more, like, Divergent, where, like, they're going to end up, like, staying together. Like, I really hope, like, there's not, like, a new male love interest coming in. But, I think, like, it's just going to be more of them against the world, you know, now for, like, the next 5 books. It's a lot to have that in. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Let us know your guys' thoughts, like, on YouTube or something.
Yeah, like, what are your predictions? Like, we want to know.
Yeah, we want to hear some different
We got 2 months until the next one comes out, so all we can do while we wait is speculate.
Yep.
What did you rate this book?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It was really good.
Same. It's my favorite book. As of right now.
Really?
Yes.
Beats out ACOTAR?
Yes.
Wow.
Everything about it was perfect. The romance was perfect. The world building was perfect. The pacing of the book was perfect. I was never bored once. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just was everything to me. Mm-hmm. So I got high hopes for, like, the next few.
Yeah. But I think, like, ACOTAR was, like, on that pedestal for me, but it's, like, equal with that now. Like, I wouldn't say it's, like, better or, like, worse than that. It's, like, there for me. So, like, yeah, it's one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Have you read anything else recently?
You already know the answer to that.
I know, but I have to ask. It's part of our routine we do every week.
Nope, I have not. Have you?
I did. I read Shark Heart.
Shark Heart?
Yes. I am blanking on the author's name, but it was a Book of the Month book last month.
Okay.
I gave it a 5.
Really?
It's bizarre, dude. Like, okay, so it's about this like young couple, and the husband gets diagnosed with like a disease where he slowly turns into a great white shark. Yeah.
5-star book?
It was so good though, because the concept is just wild. Like, what? Like, in what world does that happen? Like, it was just like, I was so interested in how that all went down. And it just like makes you think about like how you can relate that to the real world. Like, where you're losing somebody in a sense. Like, you are. Like, he had to be released into the wilds. Like,
it's so fucking weird.
It's just, but like the whole emotional side of it was like a whole journey on its own.
Yeah.
So like, I just felt like it was so interesting. I don't know. Recommend.
I have to borrow it. I don't know.
It was a really fast read.
Oh, it is?
Like,
okay.
Every couple pages is like a new chapter. So like, I flew through it, and like when I went to Cleveland last week, like I read it there and back, and I was done. And it's a really short plane ride. So
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It was so different and just so interesting.
Weird. Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Well, that's it for this show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This book is just so beloved on social media, the internet. Everybody's freaking out about it. We had to talk about it. Yeah, we would love to know like your guys' thoughts on everything we covered, and if there's anything we didn't cover that you felt like should be recognized, let us know in the comments on our YouTube channel. Or we are on social media, TikTok and Instagram, The Literary Lounge MN. We post our drink recipes every week. Next week, we are actually announcing the rules for our giveaway. We are giving away a copy of Fourth Wing. So if you made it all the way through this and you haven't read it and you'd love to win a copy.
Or maybe they've listened to an audiobook and they want a copy, or they want a copy to gift.
That's true. I did get the Kindle version first, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to need the hardcover. So if you're like me and you want to enter into this giveaway, or you've been telling all your friends and family about it and you want to pass it along to somebody who needs to read this book, tune in next week on our YouTube and wherever you stream podcasts. We'll be laying out the rules there. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.